I have Their Eyes Are Watching God. That's a really good book. I read that in like ninth grade, I believe. It was like required reading. Charlotte's Web. Oh, I remember reading this in like third grade and then watching the movie and crying my eyes out. I was no good for the rest of the day. I love this book. Yeah, okay. So that's the second shelf. Okay. So then we have the third shelf. Let me tilt this down a little bit. And these are just like super huge books. um, so I have my cookbooks. When I first like moved out of the house, I was really into like cooking. I mean, I still am, but this was just like what got me started into cooking. Like, not only I'm hungry and I need to figure out how to feed myself, but like I said, I am definitely a PBS kid. And on Sunday afternoons, I would watch America's Test Kitchen. And they would have like these awesome recipes. And, they, tested. And so, like, when they give you a recipe, like, it has been tested to work. Like, as long as you follow the instructions, like, you shouldn't mess it up. And so my first ever cookbook, actually, okay, I take that back. Okay, so this is the first ever cookbook that I bought. But I do remember when I moved out, my mom, ooh, these are heavy. I gotta put them back. Whew. When I first moved out, my mom had gotten me this cookbook in this Better Homes and Gardens. And I love that it has a binder. And if you need to, you can actually like open up the binder and get the recipe out, and you can, like hang it, over your stove or whatever to help you see it. But I mean, there are so many recipes, and I love how there's different sections. So you have appetizers and snacks, which I love. Let's see, you like kitchen tools, like the basic kitchen tools that you need, and the kind of knives and things that you need, and how to care for them. That's like super important. Then you have your appetizers and snacks, which my favorite section. Breads, beverages. That's my other favorite section. Cakes and frostings. I think the first thing that I ever cooked was a carrot cake, and it was from this cookbook. Cookies and cream cake. Oh my goodness, I need to make that. I have got to sit down and like go through this cookbook again. There are so many recipes. Cheese and eggs, candies, canning and freezing. Ugh. Like, I want to like make a whole bunch of apple butter and just keep it on hand in my pantry. Cookies and bars, desserts, fish and shellfish. I'm not a big seafood person. Grilling, they show you how to grill and like where to put the charcoal and direct and indirect grilling. Oh, awesome. Meat, pasta, pies and tarts, poultry. Salads and dressings is such a really good section. Sauces and relishes, slow cooker recipes. 20-minute meals, soups and stews, vegetables and fruits. Oh my goodness. Such an awesome cookbook. So if you have kids that are about to like leave the nest, get them the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. So good. And also, if you're into America's Test Kitchen, this is the family cookbook. And this one has a binder as well. A little intro section, appetizers, salads, sandwiches, soups and stews, grilling, and then like my dogs, I could just, ooh, like, they're teething, and so I guess this was on the floor, you know, in Lexi's range, and so she chewed off the little tabs. I still love her, but every time I think about it, I'm just like, I love my puppy. I love my puppy. Another book that my mom got me, like when I first moved out of the house, was by Martha Stewart, and this is the Homekeeping Handbook. This is such an awesome book because teaches you whatever, how to, and this part, it makes me cry every time I see it because I thought my mom had the most beautiful handwriting. And so it says from the home of, and she wrote Angela V. Fry. And every once in a while I see her handwriting, it just gets me really emotional, so I wasn't expecting that. But, you know, she teaches you how to, you know, set up a cleaning routine so that your house is always clean and you're not, you know, spending all day cleaning your house. Just, you know, things that you do every day to keep your house, you know, looking good. And I just love how, you know, she has room by room, kitchen, dining, living room, home office, library. Like, this is my library that is in my living room, okay? Routine cleaning, periodic maintenance, lighting, home security, electricity, pest control. Like, you know, she has like even a little recipe to, you know, help you get rid of ants. Fortunately, I have not had to learn that recipe. And thank goodness we have a guy that comes to spray for the house and everything. And then she has a baking handbook, which is awesome. I think my mom wrote in this one as well. Yeah. She has a sweet potato crunch recipe. And then, so my hometown, our NBC news station is WITN. And so she has Billy Weaver's corn pudding. And I actually made this a couple years ago. I used this recipe for Thanksgiving. And she just had beautiful handwriting. And she used to always make me so mad because, like, I would show her my homework, especially if it was, like, something that I had to write. I would give it to her and she'd go. I'm like, Mom, you are so dramatic. My handwriting is not that bad. I was so glad that when I was in college, like all my stuff was, you know, computer based. So all I had to worry about was typing. She used to get on my nerves so bad. Like, I can't focus. I'm like, Mom, my handwriting is not that bad. Come on now. And I do love this one. It's called Cooking for Two. This is perfect for me and baby because, you know, it's just us two. And is this another America's Test Kitchen? Yeah, it is. Comfort food. Oh, I need to open up a recipe and make it for today. Like, today is definitely a comfort food day. Like, I could get down with some macaroni and cheese. It was my husband's birthday a few days ago, and so I made his favorite meal, meatloaf with mashed potatoes, and it's gone now. I'm just like, oh, I want some more. But it is such a labor of love. It takes a while to get all the ingredients together to make. And I don't know, can y'all see back here? Yeah. This is one of my favorites. Ooh, it's so heavy. There we go. The Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, you know I've read this book. Oh my goodness. This book has been well loved. So well loved. Oh, has so many great stories in here. And I love the books that have like the bookmark. I love that. And if you're a 90s kid, you definitely remember. Well, I have two of these? Wow. If you're a 90s kid, you definitely remember those book fairs and the scary stories to tell in the dark. Well, I have all three of them all in one. So it's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and then Scary Stories 3. Man, these are some of these were really scary. Like, what was that one about the scarecrow? And then he, like, came to life and skinned one of them. Oh my gosh, what was his name? Oh, I can't. I'm just trying to look real quick. I can't remember. Oh, I don't know. But anyway. Oh, this brings back so many memories. Another thing that I really loved growing up was Shel Silverstein. And this is Where the Sidewalk Ends. I also have A Light in the Attic and The Missing Piece. But awesome. I love his poems. And I'm not really a big poetry person. I don't understand poetry. Like, I remember I was in school and we were learning about poetry, and, you know, the teacher's like, okay, so first she's like, you know, poetry is whatever you interpret it as. But then she would turn around and say, so what does this poem mean to you? And you'd be like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, that's not the right answer. And I'm like, well, I thought it depended on how, you know, how you interpret it. Whatever. I did not get poetry, but I definitely like Shel Silverstein. And these are a couple more books that have lasted through my childhood. It's the American Girl books. I have Felicity and Samantha. Like, they're my favorite, and I still, like, have all the books. 1 through 6. Yep. So it's like, meet Samantha. Samantha learns a lesson. Samantha's surprised. Happy birthday, Samantha. Samantha saves the day and changes for Samantha. And it's the same for Felicity, but it's just, you know, the same title, but it's Felicity instead of Samantha. Awesome books. And when I was a kid, I had Felicity's nightgown. Ooh, that was a hot nightgown too. I used to wear it in the wintertime, and I forget what kind of material that thing was, but you'd be hot. Like, you wake up sweating. Like, I was definitely one of those kids, like, I'm so thirsty. And then I also had Molly's raincoat. So it was this yellow, like, rubber raincoat, and it had a hat to go with it. And I remember all the other moms, like, when I would walk to the school bus, the mom's like, oh, you look like the Gordon Fisherman. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Shut up. But it kept me dry. That was an awesome raincoat and nightgown. I was so sad when I outgrew them. Uh-oh, what am I messing up back here? Okay, we're good. What else do I have in here? Everything else is pretty much just old yearbooks. And then over here I have some more cookbooks. I have a slow cooker cookbook, a blender for my Vitamix. Oh my goodness, this is an awesome cookbook. I have some more like smoothie cookbooks, but I actually got these from my mom. So these were my mom's. And my dad just brought him up here. He's like, yeah, you got a Vitamix. Maybe you can, my mom was really into juicing, and she had a lot of health problems. And when she got into juicing regularly, like you could definitely see how like her skin changed, and she lost weight and things like that. So and she felt so good. She used to just always say like, man, I feel so good today. Like I have so much energy. So juicing really does work. So I am a big fan of juicing. Almost as much as I'm a big fan of drinking. And then I have some, okay, so, and this is credit to my mom again, I am a huge QVC shopper. And so one of the hosts, he has a show that comes on Sundays at noon. It's called In the Kitchen with David. And he came out with cookbooks. And I never had any of the cookbooks. And I was never really interested in the cookbooks until, I do like to cook. And he came out with this one. It's called Half Homemade, Fully Delicious. So it's kind of like supermarket shortcuts to make like, your favorite foods, but just a little quicker, a little easier, not so many steps, especially if you're cooking on the weekdays. And I am not a meal prepper. Like I really give it up to people who can meal prep, but I'm one of those people where I would like, meal prep, and then the day would come and I'd be like, but I don't want chicken. I want pizza. I'm so unpredictable. That's why I wait the day of, and you have that annoying question, what's for dinner? What am I going to cook for dinner? You think about it like all day. As soon as you wake up and you have breakfast, you're like, what am I going to make for dinner? And then he has 3 more. Back Around the Table, In the Kitchen with David. I guess that was his first one. I don't have them in like sequential order. And then Comfort Food Shortcuts. I have not cooked anything from the cookbooks, but I just had to have them. I'm one of those people, like if it's a book and there's a series, then I have to have the series. Like I just can't have one of the books. Just like, okay, like Twilight. When I bought Twilight, I bought the other 3 books too. Actually, the other 2, because I don't think Breaking Dawn had come out yet when I first started reading Twilight. But then eventually, I did buy Breaking Dawn. So like I can't just have one of the books. Like if it's a series, then I have to get, if it's 6 books in a series, then I'm getting all 6 books. Just weird like that. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Don't judge me. And then, oh man, these are like, so I'm a really big Instapot cooker. Like I love my Instant Pot. I'm not as fanatical about it as like some people are, but I really do love my Instant Pot. And so I actually have all 3 of the cookbooks, and then there's another one coming out this April. But in the other book is still in the kitchen because I used it for my recipe for the meatloaf. But this is the second book, the lighter step-by-step Instant Pot, and I have not cooked anything out of this cookbook yet. Because I mean, like, I haven't even gotten through the first cookbook yet. But this is supposed to be like, some of your favorite foods just on the healthier side. But I haven't gotten to this cookbook yet. And then he came out with the Simple Comforts step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook. And I have cooked a couple of recipes from this one. I'm not quite sure which ones. But I am crazy about the first cookbook. What did I cook out of here that I liked? Ooh, yeah, the creamy Cajun tortellini. That's really good. that was really yummy. Ooh. Jax, I swear. He was doing really good. And then I have Jeffrey's New York style pastrami. This is absolutely delicious. You just get some corned beef and you season it, put it in the Instant Pot, and then you let it like, you know, put it in the refrigerator for like overnight. And the next day you have pastrami. You can make pastrami sandwiches and just get your whole life. Oh my God. I love pastrami, and I did not realize how easy it was, because like there are no delis around here, no delicatessens, and definitely no kosher delis, which really sucks because there's nothing better than a good old kosher deli. Oh my goodness. And I live for pastrami and corned beef sandwiches. Oh. Reuben's without Swiss cheese, because I'm not a big Swiss cheese person. I just either ask for provolone, and if they don't have that, then like no cheese. And then that sauerkraut. Oh my goodness. I love sauerkraut. And this one is really cool. Jeffrey sent this to me. He was doing a live chat on Facebook or Instagram, one of those, and I actually got to talk to him. It was actually my second time talking to him. The first time when the first cookbook came out, and then the second time was when this cookbook came out, and or maybe it was when his third cookbook came out. And he said that he was going to send me a copy, and then he sent me a message on, you know, Facebook, like, what's your address and everything. And then he actually like wrote a message in here. And he signed it and everything. So that was awesome. So I have like two of the same cookbook, but you know, for different reasons. So like, I will always treasure this book. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then back here, I'm so sorry, but like, it's like super duper heavy. But I grew up loving Calvin and Hobbes. Like, that was my favorite comic book or comic strip in the funny papers. So like, I would always read Garfield, Peanuts, and then Calvin and Hobbes. Like, those are my top three. And then I would read the other ones, but yeah, whatever. I had to read Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, and Peanuts. So I collected all of the books. It was like a collection of comic strips in a book. But then he came out with like a 3-volume of all of his comic strips. And so I bought it, and I have never even like opened the plastic on this. It still has the plastic. I don't know, maybe I thought maybe it would become like a collector's item and get like really, you know, like really expensive, and, you know, like I would have more value because I still have like all the books. So I don't really have to like open this and mess it up, you know, keep it in mint condition, you know, because I still have like the books, which I wish I had room to put down here. I don't know, maybe if I put everything up one shelf, then I can bring those comic books down and like, you know, display them. But they're upstairs in my room, and, you know, whenever I want a good laugh, I'll just like grab one of the books. And I think my favorite collection is It's a Magical World. No, there's Treasure Everywhere. And then Homicidal Psycho Jungle Cat. Yeah, I think those are like my favorite. But anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed my book collection little tour. And stay tuned, because I have another video coming out where I'm going to talk about the February book club. It just took me such a long time to like get my stuff together to like make these videos. And like the month of February is almost over, but I still feel like I still need to, you know, like come up or make a video for this month. Even if it's just to talk about it. So stay tuned for that. And thank you all for checking out this video. I know I've like talked your ear to death, but I will talk to you all later. Mwah. Bye.